The Writings of Abraham, chapter 91. Previous to this time, Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, Kedorlaomer, sovereign of Elam, Arioch, sovereign of Elasar, and Tidal, sovereign of Goyim in Padam-aram, had waged war against Bera, sovereign of Sodom, Bersha, sovereign of Amorah, Shinav, sovereign of Admah, Shem-eber, sovereign of Zeboim, and the sovereign of Bela. They assembled for combat in the valley of Siddim, and the sovereign of Shinar and his royal allies overcame the sovereign of Sodom and his confederates and imposed tribute upon them. For 12 years they paid their tribute to the sovereign of Shinar, but in the 13th year they revolted against him. In the 14th year the sovereign of Shinar led forth all his allies, and they went up along the way of the wilderness, attacking and plundering all who were confederate with the sovereign of Sodom. But the sovereign of Sodom, the sovereign of Amorah, the sovereign of Admah, the sovereign of Zeboim, and the sovereign of Bela came forth to battle and met Amraphel and his allies in the valley of Siddim. However, Amraphel and his allies prevailed against them, and Bera, sovereign of Sodom, turned and fled, and Bersha, sovereign of Amorah, fell into the slime pits which were in the valley of Siddim, and perished there. The remainder of the sovereigns fled unto the mountain which was called Hanabal, and tarried there in great fear. The Writings of Abraham, chapter 92. But one of Lot's servants who dwelt in his house escaped and came to me in Hebron, and told me that Lot, my brother's son, had been taken with all his possessions, but that he yet lived. He showed me, moreover, the route which the sovereigns had taken toward the land of Damascus. When I heard this news, my heart melted within me, for Lot, who had stood at my right hand, had been as a brother to me in the place of my brother Haran, who had been slain in the land of Shinar. Oh, that Lot had stayed among the body of the Kodeshim of the Most High Elohim, I thought, and not go off to possess his own property apart. Then these circumstances would never have befallen him, that he should be in the hands of Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, and his host. But as I thus mourned over Lot, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Up, arouse thee, O Abraham, take 380 of the young men of the strength of thine house, and also thy friends Anaram, Eshcol, and Mamre, each with 105 of the strength of his house, and also Eliezer of Damascus, who is with thee in the tent, and pursue after Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, for truly I shall deliver his hosts into your hands. The Writings of Abraham, chapter 93. Wherefore we did according to all that Yahweh had commanded me, having all 700 men, and we pursued after them even unto the valley of Dan, where we found them encamped. And falling upon them by night from all 4 directions, we commenced the work of death, and continued wreaking slaughter among them, and discomforting them all that night. And with the rising of the sun they fled from before us until they reached Hobah, which is situated to the left of Damascus, where we did again overtake them and conquer them. There we did strip them of all that they had taken as plunder and loot, and likewise of all their won goods. Lot also and his family we rescued from their hands, and restoring to him all his possessions and all that they had taken from him as spoil, we restored him to his home in peace. The Writings of Abraham, chapter 94. When the sovereign of Sodom heard that I had returned from the conquest of Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, he came forth to meet me at the valley of Shaweh, which is west of the city of Shalom, where Noah and Malkitsedeq dwelt. And Malkitsedeq brought forth bread and wine from the city of Shalom unto the valley of Shaweh, where we were encamped. And he, being the Kohen Ha'Gadol, after the order of the Most High Elohim, brake the bread and baraked it, and he baraked the wine also, and he distributed them unto me and those who were with me, and we partook and were filled. And Malkitsedeq lifted up his hands to the Shamayim and baraked me, and said, Baruch Abraham, thou art a man of the Most High Elohim, possessor of the Shamayim and of earth. Wherefore his name and kehunah shall not depart from thee and thy seed after thee, while the earth shall stand, and even in eternity shall it remain with thee. And Baruch is the name of the Most High Elohim, and almighty his power, which hath delivered thine enemies into thine hand. And I, Abraham, gave into the hand of Malkitsedeq tithes of all I had taken, for he was the presiding Kohen Ha'Gadol after the order of the Most High Elohim, the first of the fathers unto me, and he reigned under his father Noah. The writings of Abraham, chapter 95. And when the sovereign of Sodom had come unto me, he said unto me, Abraham, give me the persons who are not thine, but who are with thee, whom thou hast rescued from the hand of Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, but let all the property be left with thee. But I said unto him, This day do I, Abraham, lift up my hand before the Most High Elohim, before his Kodesh messengers, and before these witnesses who are with us, and declare that I will not take even so much as a thread or a shoe's latchet which is not mine, lest thou shouldest say that all Abraham's wealth cometh really from their possession. Only that which the young men who are with me have eaten, and that which Anaram, Eshcol, and Mamre, these three stalwarts who went with me, have received as their share, shall be accepted of all that I took from Amraphel, son of Nimrod, sovereign of Shinar, that was thine. The rest I returned freely unto thee. Now go thy way in peace. Thereupon I returned all the possessions and all the spoil, and gave them unto the sovereign of Sodom, and I released all the captives, and sent them away rejoicing. The writings of Abraham, chapter 96. And when I had done this, Malkitsedeq again lifted up his voice, and baraked me, saying, Baruch art thou, Abraham, for the Most High Elohim shall visit thee, and shall bestow upon thee riches and honor and lands for an everlasting possession, because thou hast been true and trustworthy to the covenants which thou hast entered before him. Wherefore thou shalt continue to increase worlds without end, and the esteem of Yahweh shall never depart from thee. The berakah of thy fathers shall rest upon thee, and thou shalt stand at the head, and in thee and in thy seed after thee, those who shall bear thy kehunah, shall all the nations of the earth be Baruch. The writings of Abraham, chapter 97. Therewith I departed from Malkitsedeq, rejoicing in his berakah, for he was a man of belief who wrought righteousness, and as a child he feared Elohim, and by his belief he stopped the mouths of lions, and quenched the violence of fire when those of the evil combination sought to destroy him from off the face of the earth. Therefore, having been approved of Elohim, he was ordained a Kohen Ha'Gadol after the order of the covenant which Elohim made with Chanok, which is after the order of the firstborn, even our father Adam. For this Kodesh order came not by man, nor the will of man, neither by father nor mother, neither by beginning of days nor end of years, but of Elohim. For it was established in the beginning of the earth by the ancients of days, wherefore it is called the order of the ancients, and it was delivered unto men from the beginning by the calling of Elohim's own voice, according to his own will, through the voice of his kehunah, unto as many as believed on his name, and were trustworthy until they had obtained. The writings of Abraham, chapter 98. Behold, these could transcend the veil according to the will of Elohim, and commune with the general assembly and ecclesia of the firstborn in the Shamayim, and many were caught up to be with them. For Elohim had sworn unto Henoch and unto his seed with an oath by himself, that every one being ordained after this order and calling should have power by belief to break mountains, to divide the seas, to dry up waters, to turn them out of their course, and to put at defiance the armies of nations, to divide the earth, to break every band, to stand in the presence of Elohim, to do all things according to his will, according to his command, subdue principalities and powers, and this by the will of the bane of the only begotten of the Father, which was from before the foundation of the world. And men having this belief and coming up unto this order of Elohim could be translated and taken up into the Shamayim. The writings of Abraham, chapter 99. Now Malkitsedeq was a Kohen after this order, which is the Kodesh order of Elohim. Therefore he obtained peace in Shalom, and was called the Prince of Peace. And his people wrought righteousness, and obtained the Shamayim, for they sought for the city of Henoch, which Elohim had before taken, separating it from the earth, having reserved it unto the latter days, or the end of the world. For Elohim hath said and sworn with an oath that the Shamayim and the earth should come together again, and the sons of Elohim be tried even by fire. And thus Malkitsedeq, having established righteousness, was called the sovereign of the Shamayim by his people, or in other words, the sovereign of peace. And they communed with those in the city of Henoch and in the city of Peleg, and had access to them, and were Baruch all their days.